Yesterday's show got a little crazy, so that's where we're going to start. Go ahead and toss to the sound.
First of all, Dak is ass, right? Can I say on TV? Because he is ass.
Say whatever you want.
Okay, that's one thing. This is the second game that he's just lost by throwing picks. He threw 2 picks to the Packers, right? Had 14-point lead, lost, come back. They was up 17. My man, 17 and lost, picks.
All eyes are on our show today, including eyes of Hall of Fame head coach Tony Dungy. He says, was LaShawn McCoy watching this game? Dak was 23 of 30, 256 yards, 3 touchdowns. He threw 2 interceptions. The first one, his arm was hit as he threw. The second one was right in the receiver's hands. Dallas defense gave up 500 yards, 40 points. And the loss is on Dak? Really? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Talk of the town is on Speak. Let's talk about Speak. That is Dave Hellman. 10-year he worked for the Cowboys, covered Dak Prescott, the one and only, the brilliant Joy Taylor, and LaShawn Shady McCoy, also known as Cut on Don 25. You got the whole world talking. You got the whole world talking about you, sir. Are you standing by your Dak Prescott opinion? Tony Dungy's called you out. Kurt Warner has spoke up. The whole world of sports has spoke up. Are you standing by your Dak Prescott opinion? Clarify.
Yes, I stand on it 10 toes down. 10 toes down. What I said I believe in, what I believe in, that's what I talk about. Now, first of all, Mr. Dungy, happy holidays. A lot of respect to you, OG. But I stand on what I said, right? When I watch that game, and yes, I do watch the game. I'm not the guy that just runs to stats, unless I have to, unless Dave Hellman brings it out of me. When I watch that game, yes. These guys had a 17-point lead in the third quarter, right? It's time to put them away. Your picks that you threw helped that team come back. Everyone was talking about the defense. Oh, the defense let them down, et cetera. Well, when you throw on picks, you help that cause. You help that out. When I watch Dak Prescott, and one thing I want to clear up, it's Dallas, Eagles week. I get excited, right?
Of course.
Yeah, we all get excited.
Ass. Can I say it on TV? Ass. That's what I said.
Ass.
Well, I should have said Dak is playing ass.
Fair.
That's what I should have done.
Clarity.
Yeah, right, because I can't say
Not talking about the person.
Yeah. Listen, I have no beef with Dak. I don't even know the guy, right? We talk here and there, but I don't know him like that. Hey, what's up? But I'm just speaking what I see. When I watch that tape, I don't see this quarterback that everybody's talking about, they're screaming about. He lost some games. He lost that game. Give you some quick stats for you, right? Because I know some people like stats.
I do.
He's thrown 2 picks out of the last 6 games, right? Out of 4 of them games, he gave you 2 picks. He's averaging this, okay? He leads the NFL with 10 picks in the last 7 games. Now, mind you, Dak has only played 9 games. Is that correct?
Games, yes, sir.
He has 11 turnovers in 9
No, we'll make it 12. Well, 12 and 10.
You can't tell me that's playing good. That's playing bad.
You are 100% right, Shady Coy. Hello, good friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, who was hitting the apple pie whiskey from J. Hoove last night. He's definitely up under the tree. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching. Oh, Joe Bear's in the house too. Woo! As always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here, and let's wake up the football gods here. On this Christmas Day, Merry Christmas to everybody. Everybody, even Shady McCoy. In which case, I can't wait to hear what Shady McCoy has to say about Mr. Ass. He said he's a good quarterback. I'm going to dispute that. He's not a good quarterback. He's a great quarterback. Yes. Shady will focus in. Well, Dak Prescott threw a pick 6. I'm curious what he will have to say about the Cowboys' offense that scored more points than anybody else on them this season. The Cowboys scored more points on the Eagles than any other team. Excuse me. I apologize. The Cowboys' offense had more passing yards than anybody else this season. And for the Dak Prescott haters who say, Dak ain't it, Dak's a bum. I'm sick of this guy. We need to just draft somebody else. Reminding you, here are the numbers of yesterday when all my troubles seem so far away. I believe in yesterday. 77.1% completion percentage. And trolls out there, please, by all means, do a video about how bad Dak Prescott is. Please, I want to see it. I want to see how you throw shade on my quarterback as I sit here where people say, you're going down for real. Your talent's going down for real. As we creep up to 50,000 subs, we are sitting right now just 89 away. 89 subs away from 50,000. So you haters out there, and you know exactly who I'm talking to. You know exactly who I'm talking to. Bite on that, buddy. 50,000 is in sight. But let me go on about Dak Prescott. That's right. I'm feeling it this Christmas morning because I got everything I wanted. The Dallas Cowboys to beat the Eagles. And don't be salty. Don't be salty and say, well, you're only playing against Gardner Minshew. Well, I got to tell you, Gardner Minshew did have a rushing TD and had 2 TD passes, had 355 yards. In comparison to what we got from Cooper Rush, which was like 3 interceptions and 17 points, you had a team. Listen, you had Gardner Minshew score more points, 10 more points against the Dallas Cowboys than your starting quarterback did against the Bears. So I don't want to hear that Minshew lost the game. I don't want to hear that. Stop being salty because you jumped on the bandwagon. Cowboys suck. 13-1. We kicked your ass. You didn't put an asterisk by it and say, well, we understand. We just beat Cooper Rush. Because, see, in the end, Nick Sirianni has never beaten Dak Prescott. And that, my friends, is one that you can actually say. You can't say Gardner Minshew versus Dak because it's a whole team. Nick Sirianni has never beaten the Dallas Cowboys when Dak Prescott has been at the helm. Zero, zilch, zingo, nada, nothing, not out of here. Get out of here with that. Dak Prescott is Nick Sirianni's daddy. And the Dallas Cowboys, yes, Eagles, you're going to win the division. You're going to win the division. Yes, you're going to win the division probably. You're going to get it. But I'm not going to say that it's great. I'm going to go into later on. Because, see, now, after seeing the Eagles now lose to the Cowboys when the defense wasn't really playing that well, seeing the Cowboys offense where we really didn't run the ball that well. Zeke only had 55 yards. That was it. Dak Prescott and this band of wide receiving core with CeeDee Lamb being the man. T.Y. Hilton saving our ass. You see what this offense is capable of. To do what the Dallas Cowboys did to the Eagles defense, knowing that they barely survived the Chicago Bears last week, knowing that the Colts led that game for 59 minutes, knowing that the commanders with the left hand up beat this team. Are we really that afraid of the Philadelphia Eagles? Yeah, no, they destroyed, some teams like the Texans and things. Well, actually, no, they didn't destroy the Texans. They destroyed the line. No, actually, that was 38-35. But be that as it may, you take the wins in the NFL that you get. I know what the Eagles will say is if we had had Jalen Hurts, we win going away. But I'm going to remind you that the Cowboys shut down the run pretty good yesterday. It was Gardner Minshew in his arm that was the difference. Now, maybe Jalen Hurts runs the ball better, but I don't know that he passes the ball better than what Gardner Minshew did. Those third down conversions were insane. A.J. Brown still had over 100 yards with Gardner Minshew. This was not like you were going to you know, Tyler Heineke, although Heineke's had some good games. This wasn't like you were going, you know, a guy fresh off the salad truck. It's a guy who's been a starter in the NFL, who played good. And I dare say, if the Eagles do let him go, he will get a starting gig. So I don't want to hear this, because you wouldn't give us any quarter. You wouldn't give us any quarter with Cooper Rush. Just won't. So now, the problem for the Eagles is they got beat up some yesterday. Not celebrating that at all. I think Lane Johnson got hurt. Jordan Davis got hurt. One of their cornerbacks got hurt. Now they're getting nicked up, and they have the New Orleans Saints coming up, who all of a sudden got a win yesterday, who is still in the playoff picture. They have something to play for. We, of course, have the Tennessee Titans that have seemingly just gone downhill. I think they've lost 4 in a row. And now the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have become one of the hottest teams in football. You look at that and say, maybe that's not such a bad team, because that's a team that's looks for, like, the playoffs. So you start thinking about the Cowboys, some of the teams that they've beaten, you know, the Cincinnati Bengals. I believe that they're a playoff team. Currently, they beat the Giants twice, which right now they're scheduled to be a playoff team. They beat the Commanders. You know, right now, they're a playoff team. Oh, and they beat the Eagles, which are the #1 seed. Oh. Huh. That's pretty good. Because it used to be that the Cowboys couldn't win, that Dak Prescott couldn't win against teams with winning records. Did I miss any other ones out there? We got Cincinnati, we got the Eagles, we got the Giants, we got Washington. Who else? I think there's another one out there. The Lions were close, so the Lions are still in the playoff conversation. But be that as it may, I'm going to say, how many have the Eagles beat? Just saying. All right, let's go to a little recap here and get ready to get out of here. It is Christmas Day, but I still have some work to do in the workshop so we can get these things out tomorrow for you guys.
34 points should have been enough, but it was not in this case, as Dallas's offense runs it up. Dak Prescott, some issues early, but settles into the tune of 27 of 35 for 347 and 3 total touchdowns. The two-time Super Bowl champ Bryant McFadden weighing in here. B-Mac, interesting game between these two. I'm sure if I would have told you that Gardner Minshew's going to give it 30-plus points, you'd think that Philly gets out of there with the W. What were the biggest issues you saw here with the Philadelphia defense on Saturday?
Well, just CeeDee Lamb, number one. They had no answer for CeeDee Lamb. He did a lot of damage in the slot. It was hard for them to really get over losing Maddox in the first quarter, because he's their best slot corner. And when he went out of the ball game, CeeDee Lamb just was tearing up things in the slot offensively for the Dallas Cowboys. And we saw splash plays. I mean, it's 3rd and 30. You can't give up a first down. 3rd and 30, Philly, you got to find a way to get off the football field. You cannot allow a pass catcher, a wide receiver, to get behind coverage to convert that 3rd down opportunity. That was huge, because eventually the Cowboys ended up scoring on that same drive, if I'm not mistaken. So we just saw splash plays. We saw some mistakes, guys not being where they need to be in the coverage side of things, that led to this huge victory for the Dallas Cowboys.
We know that Gardner Minshew is one of those backup types that you could feel good about coming into the game, handing him the key.
He played good.
Especially in the position that Philadelphia is in right now. They want to maintain that momentum. I'll get there in a moment, but just surface level here. Gardner Minshew, haven't seen him in a minute. He goes out and puts on this type of show for his team. Does he look like a serviceable stopgap, assuming that Jalen Hurts will miss more time beyond here just on Saturday?
Well, you don't want to go into the playoffs with Gardner Minshew as your starting quarterback. Because Jalen Hurts is just that good. Now, let's keep it real. Gardner Minshew, he didn't have a horrible game, but we saw some costly mistakes, something you can't do on the road. But in totality, Joe, the Philadelphia Eagles, they're a good team. They're a good team. They had a defensive touchdown, right? They were harassing Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott eventually found his rhythm, but yet and still, they were right there. A team with 4 turnovers had 34 points on the road. and still had a real good chance to win that ball game in the last possession. Of course, turnover on downs in the red area. So huge win for the Cowboys, and they're dealing with some woes as well when it comes to injuries. But yes, he's a good backup quarterback. He's a guy that can give you serviceable moments in a ball game. But when you talk about getting into January football, you want to have your best. And I'm not saying they lost this ball game because of Gardner Minshew, but I believe if they had a healthy Jalen Hurts, no question they win this ball game, because from top to bottom, they have the better team. They have the better roster. And they still had a real good chance to win this ball game with their backup quarterback and having 4 turnovers in a ball game.
Yeah, I think Philadelphia, if you're walking away from this one, you scrap it, you move forward. There was plenty here to take away on the positive side of things. Talk to me about the moment here for Dallas, because last week they throw the game away quite literally in overtime against Jacksonville. They fall asleep at the wheel. The week prior, a near miss against Houston could have easily been a loss as well. How big was it to get this win at home against a team that you could see down the road, especially if you have Super Bowl designs?
It was huge because you want to find a way to win ball games. And unfortunately for the Cowboys, they were playing down to the level of the competition, and they just were not closing the deal. And when it comes to critics jumping on the Cowboys, they can have an off week, to say the least, in regards to criticism that they usually receive when they allow a huge game to slip through the cracks. So this was a great opportunity for them, even though they're playing against a backup quarterback, finding a way to win the ball game. Their defense, they gave up a lot of things right to the Eagles offensively, but they were so opportunistic that led to extra possessions for Dak Prescott. And I love what I saw from Dak Prescott, Joe. You talk about a pitcher just basically giving a grand slam, allowing a grand slam in the first inning, and then after that just coming and bringing nothing but heat. You know, that's who Dak Prescott was in this ball game.
Nothing but heat.
Interception that led to 7 points, he didn't blink at all. He didn't blink at all. And you know what I say all the time? I love players that are willing to run into a burning kitchen. And Dak Prescott showed that outside of that interception, and that was huge for his growth as well, and just building and establishing more confidence in who he is as a passer.
Yeah, it was a pick 6 to end the game last week, and then on his 3rd throw of the game in this one, another pick 6. To your metaphor here, a first-inning home run given up, but was pretty nails from that point on. He has expressed some of these highs and lows, Dak Prescott, throughout this season, and maybe we're looking for a little bit more even keel when it comes to playoff football. Is he a championship quarterback in your eyes?
Is Dak Prescott a championship quarterback?
And I know that's a tough one to dig into here because it's just very interesting.
I'll say
he shows you everything you need to win, but he showed you some things that can lose you a ball game as well.
I'll say this, Joe. You can get to a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott. You can. Now, when you talk about a championship quarterback, meaning a guy that can lead his team to the promised land, let's keep it real. There are only a few quarterbacks that can do that are currently playoff worthy right now in the National Football League. And Pat Mahomes is one, right? I'll say Josh Allen is another.
Because he's done it all the time, right?
Everybody else.
Tom Brady.
What we're seeing from Jalen Hurts, I think you can put him in that conversation.
Oh, please. Okay.
In regards to being a championship quarterback, a quarterback that can get his ball club to the promised land. And the unique thing about Jalen Hurts is not necessarily all on his arm, on his throwing shoulder. We've seen him dominate running the football. Well, over a week ago, right, he didn't have 1 passing touchdown, but had 3 rushing touchdowns.
And he had 2 interceptions, 2 bad ones, 2 bad interceptions.
Is Dak Prescott a championship quarterback? I believe you can get to a championship with Dak Prescott. I do
Still
believe
gets the shade.
And I'm saying that based on what we've seen when he's in his bag. Now, every quarterback they have off days sometimes.
Oh, do they?
When he has an off day, it's a big deal because of the organization he's playing with. But I think based on who he is as a passer.
All right, so, you know, I'm going to end that right here. Here's the thing that's kind of funny. No disrespect to Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush, to me, is still the team's MVP. Those 4 wins, without those 4 wins right now that he got, we're only a 7-win team. We're the Commanders without Cooper Rush. But we were 27th in scoring with Cooper Rush. I want you to understand, as bad as everybody says Dak Prescott is, right now the Dallas Cowboys are 3rd in scoring offense. That doesn't happen by being a bad quarterback. Most quarterbacks have some few interceptions, and then it ends up being that they don't score any points. We are averaging 28.9 points a game, which is only 0.3 behind Pat Mahomes, which is only 0.8 behind the Philadelphia Eagles that's had a cupcake schedule. We've averaged 33.7 points a game the last 3 games. Yes. Is he perfect? No. But somehow, the guy who gets trashed more than anybody else owns the Philadelphia Eagles, owns the New York Giants, owns the Washington Commanders. And if the defense can get back a little bit more, scary team going into the playoffs. Scary team going into the playoffs. Because everybody's been talking about the Philadelphia Eagles as the best team in football, 13-2 now, and you just beat them. And you barely lost to them with your backup quarterback. You've beat the Minnesota Vikings. Oh, that's the other one. I forgot. We destroyed the Minnesota Vikings. That's another one. So looking here, you bit the Giants twice, probably a playoff team. The Commanders, you beat them once and happened at the end of the season. You beat the Philadelphia Eagles, best record in the NFC. You blew out the Minnesota Vikings, second best record in the NFC. You end up beating, with your backup quarterback, the Cincinnati Bengals. I believe that's 6 games against playoff teams with winning records. I don't know that the Eagles, which one? They got the Cowboys with Cooper Rush. They got the Giants. They lost one to, well, I think they beat Carson Wentz. Just saying. Just saying. All right, good people. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I've got me a nice prime rib roast I got to cook for dinner tonight. I don't know if I'm going to live stream during the games. I might just kind of hang out, watch the games, and just relax a bit and savor the moment. There's still a lot of work to be done. A lot of work to be done for the Dallas Cowboys. By no means does this game mean anything more than any of the other ones. This is just another one of those opportunities for your team to get a chance at the big dance. And they made a statement yesterday. All right, good people. Merry Christmas. And you know how we roll.
Our Colts here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report.
Woo! How about them Cowboys? Peace.